I'm Nikki Michelle, and I do make and design jewelry.
Okay, awesome.
Greetings, my name is Aldina Lee, and I'm the owner of a management consulting firm, and I also have a retail online fashion and accessory store. Thank you.
Oh, great, great.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Johnson. I work with the LAEDC, and I also am an entrepreneur myself.
Oh, and what's your business?
I have several. I have a publishing company, and I also have an online boutique and apparel.
Oh, excellent, excellent. All right, anyone else?
Okay.
I'm Cassandra Weathers, and I'm the bookkeeper of the Inglewood Airport Area Chamber of Commerce.
Great. Next. Yasmin? I can only see some people on the screen, so I can't see everybody's names, but introduce yourself.
I just logged in, so we're introducing ourselves. My name is Yasmin Davids, and I am the founder and CEO of the Multicultural Women Executive Leadership Foundation.
Fantastic. Next. Anyone else need to introduce themselves?
Actually, I'm also a member of the Inglewood Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, thank you. And what's your business?
With Kareem Safir Photography, but I introduced myself earlier.
Okay. Yes. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So one of the things that we're talking about today is how to reinvent your business in a time of crisis. And the reason why this is such an amazing topic is mostly because COVID is unprecedented. But statistically, what we know is after every economic crisis, and you go back to the Great Depression, millionaires have been created. And since part of my goal is to help companies and organizations find whatever that thing is to help propel them financially, because I'm all about economic justice, because you cannot have social justice without economic justice. They just go hand in hand. And so part of that is working with businesses. I do training and development. I do training for Southern California Edison. I've done training for Coca-Cola, major Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies. And part of that is that, and I've done it internationally as well. And so the idea of reinventing your business is trying to figure out in a season of COVID, in a season where things aren't the way we thought they would be. Everybody had these great 2020 goals. You had the little vision, and everybody's writing things down, how new decade, all that whole new thing. And now we're in a season of what do we do next? And so the idea that there are millionaires made after every economic downturn means that we have to maybe re-strategize what we already do. And that may be reinventing your business. Only you can decide. There's no one on this platform, myself included, that can tell you what you should do with your business. What we simply want to do is have a meaningful discussion about where you are in your business, whether it's simply a retooling issue, whether it's just reinventing, whether it's re-strategizing. And some people just need to retreat. There are some businesses, because of the nature of their business, may not be able to survive this, and it's okay to know that. That way you can redirect your resources to things that can be more productive. So what I want to hear from you is, where do you believe you are? Are you at a reinvent stage, a retool stage? Are you at a retreat stage and you're like, okay, I need to retreat? Because some people had a money pit even before COVID happened. And so when you recognize that, it's like, okay, what do I need to do next? So I want to hear from you. Where are you at on that? So I have reinvent, which is where you just need a facelift. You just need people to see you from a different perspective, to see you can provide services that may not have been your focal point previously. Retool, maybe you need to increase your technology. I was doing a training 2 days ago, and a lot of people really weren't maximizing social media, things like that, and people are still waiting for COVID to end. And the idea is that even though 9/11 happened, 20 years later, we still have to take our shoes off, and we still have to have these little clear plastic bags. So our new normal is going to be a new normal, and in this season, our goal is to be more efficient. So, or do you need to retreat? Love it or leave it, or reposition. So I want to hear back from you how COVID has affected your business, because the truth of the matter is COVID has affected people differently. I know people that have seen more money in COVID through the EIDL funding, even through unemployment, than they've seen in their business in years. And so I don't want to make the assumption, and I'm not going to make the assumption that everybody's just down and out. I recognize that it's a very traumatizing thing, and I know people have died, and I know several people have gotten sick. And so I don't want to minimize that. But the truth of the matter is, you're going to survive COVID, because unless you plan on passing away during this season intentionally, you're going to survive like we've survived other things. And so this conversation about how do we survive COVID? How do we survive an economic crisis? And many people have been disenfranchised for years. We've survived worse. So we're going to get through this, but now it's about talking about it. We've talked about all the things that are wrong. We've talked about all the things that maybe the president is doing and all the things that we feel like, you know, isn't happening for us, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, if you plan on living past COVID into 2021, 2025, 2030, 2040, which may seem a far away, but it's really only 20 years more from now, we're going to have to figure out, how do we do that successfully? How do we do that in a way that we come out on top? How do we become those people that are financially sustainable and sustained in spite of the economic crisis? So I want to hear a little bit of your feedback about where you are, how COVID has impacted you, how has it affected your business, yay or nay, and what are you doing about it? So I'll start with Kareem, since you're unmuted.
Okay, the way COVID has affected me is pretty much, I usually shoot a lot of events, weddings, events for nonprofit organizations, things like that. And every event in 2020 has been canceled. I mean, every one that I had scheduled, starting from March weddings to, I mean, just the whole, it's just everything's gone. So the way I reinvented myself is that I was doing a lot of sessions, outdoor sessions, but now I'm starting to really hone in and practice my studio lighting. So now I can do more studio lighting stuff, and so I can still be creative and get those one-on-one sessions where it's not the big group. And that way I can still be successful with my business. So that's the way I'm reinventing myself and still trying to just perfect my craft.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Next person. And again, I take volunteers and hostages. So however you want to come.
This is Aldina Lee.
Aldina.
And what I've done, I actually repositioned myself. By nature, I am a project manager with major organizations, but since that's somewhat still, it's competitive, but a lot of the jobs went to the wayside. I am a grant writer. You know, I've just been doing that for years. So I just, you know, really jumped back into that. And I've gotten several contracts with several large medical centers and, you know, hospital organizations and some other contracting opportunities. So it was just a matter of really just looking at all my skill sets, my KSAs, you know, knowledge, skills, and abilities, and seeing which cap I wanted to turn on. The finances, you know, everything that I do just kind of ties into that one particular thing. Doing the finance and budgeting, because I have a financial manager background, the project management, the writing aspect of it. And as we're talking, I'm like researching for grants for the organizations as we're doing this here too. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, someone else.
Aldina.
Yes.
This is Janie. I need your services.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, everybody, here's my number.
How are you? Yeah, how are you guys can do that in the chat? How are you reinventing your business? The lady who needs Aldina's services, what are you doing?
I'm not. That's why I need her services. I have a 501c3. I have, I've been in the entertainment management business for over 35 years, and I'm kind of on the fence. I don't know what to do. But I know I need some financial guidance, because there's a couple of investments that I may want to make, and I know that I need to do something with my youth services, nonprofit youth services. I've had it for 12 years. I've never had anyone to help me with it. It was just a desire that was in my heart. I work with children. I've worked with children all my life, with youth and young adults. Even my talent management company I specialize in youth and young adults. So I love helping kids. I love making dreams come true for children and young adults. And so I just need I need some help. I need some guidance. And I've you know, just never had anybody to really get me acclimated in what I really want to do, what's in my heart, and what I'm good at doing.
Excellent. Well, you are in the right place. If nothing else, GLAAACC is an amazing resource, an amazing support. So you definitely showed up at the right time, at the right place. And there's a bunch of amazing people on the call, on this webinar that can assist you. Thank you so much for sharing. Next, someone, how has COVID impacted you, affected you? How are you reinventing, retooling, repositioning your business?
Hi, this is Yasmin. Besides the foundation, I have a Women's Leadership Institute, and we got shut down because we partner with USC Marshall School of Business and all the university business schools. We got shut down when the school shut down March 13th. So 95% of our revenue went out the door. So we had to pivot and go virtual, even though we've never done virtual. Okay. And we have to basically our faculty members, everybody who didn't know how to teach virtual, we had to put them through training. We had to, so we are recovering. We're launched globally now, but it's a whole new business, big digital ads, everything digital that we did not do before. So it's a great opportunity. There's a lot of growing pains well, survival pains, right? Because we have to do it under stress, but we're seizing the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I think that's what this season is about, seizing opportunity. There's so many opportunities because you got to realize these technical platforms, Zoom, they've been around. We just haven't utilized them. I mean, more people have talked about being on Zoom and meeting people that they would never meet, but because it's easier for people to access it via Zoom. And the reality of it is, what is our new normal going to be? Are we going to all drive back to work, do the same thing, drive, gas, parking in LA, or if we could do the same business or more and be more productive by utilizing and implementing more Zoom and more virtual calls? Major corporations such as Edison and these major international companies, they've been using Skype and Zoom and not necessarily Zoom, but Skype for years. That's how they connect with people in other countries, right? And so again, we're not talking about new platforms. It's just new for us to use and implement. We've been told about the technology gap. We've been told about these things like that, told about social media. Okay, we know, right? And now we're kind of just being forced to use something that already existed. So I think the encouragement here is to say, we're not trying to reinvent something. We're trying to maximize the use and benefit of something that other people have been using successfully for many, many years. I mean, you have these millennials that are become millionaires. I mean, many of them in their 20s. Why? Using the same platforms that 20 years later, we're just now starting to use because we've been forced to do that. So again, the idea is shifting. I don't want to minimize that it's easy for everyone because again, as I say frequently, I have a little sports car. Pivoting a little sports car is very different than pivoting a Mack truck. I used to do training and things like that for larger corporations and trucking companies through logistics. You can't pivot a Mack truck the way you can pivot a little sports car or a motorcycle or things like that. So I don't want to minimize and throw just blanket statements out there that everybody can do the same thing. But if you plan on surviving COVID, you need to figure out how to turn that big baby around. And that's kind of what this conversation is about. So next, how has COVID impacted you? What are you doing? Have you reinvented yourself? Have you repositioned yourself? What is it that you're doing in your business so that you can thrive and survive and become economically sound in spite of COVID? Because this is a new way of us doing business.
Okay, so I am making design jewelry, as I mentioned. Nikki Michelle. Nikki.
Okay.
I am making design jewelry, and primarily for 15 years, I've been traveling to major conventions and selling my jewelry there. And since I hand make all my jewelry, I'm pretty tired when I leave a convention, so I didn't really utilize the online technology that I could have used. So right now, I'm reinventing myself by having a website built, and I'm retooling because I'm going to get people to help me with blogs and different forms of social media and stuff like that.
Okay, great. Thank you so very much for sharing that. Next, Jacqueline Johnson. Unmute yourself. Tell us about you.
Hi guys. So I have several businesses. So my first one is a publishing company. I have actually seen an increase in my business since COVID because people are home, they have the time, and many who were able to benefit from the extra unemployment, some of them took some of that money to invest in the book that they have been wanting to do. So the publishing company has increased because we've always had a virtual presence anyway. So we were very used to operating that way. Similar with the boutiques, the only thing with the online boutiques is because it's so competitive now, because everybody's kind of revamping and trying to find extra income. There's a lot of boutiques now. So what we have done is we have started doing live shows on Facebook and Instagram to show the products and actually sell them live. So that's one of the things that we have incorporated as just, beyond just having a website and doing ads, is actually doing a live show weekly. And so we've gained a lot of new customers from that. So we're steady with that business because, again, it's really, really competitive. But so we're just grateful because we've always had an online technology presence, and that was so helpful for us, dealing with COVID.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Brenda Gale.
That's me. I'm Nikki Michelle. It just
Nikki Michelle. Okay, all right.
Thank you.
Cassandra Weathers. And here.
Yes.
Yes. So how are you reinventing yourself or retooling yourself through COVID?
I think we're doing pretty well with COVID. We've been doing a lot of community stuff in Inglewood with the chamber, and that's been really it's good to be able to give back to people that are really going through hard times right now, because there's really a lot of people that are struggling. So we came together as a team and started off, we were doing it once a month, and now we're doing it twice a month. And we're teaming up with different members that are donating to the giveaway. And so it's been allowing us to feed 100 lunches every time that we do this. So I'm blessed for that. And then also with my church, I had an opportunity to be able to donate 100 lunches through, I think it's City of Hope Church in Inglewood. They were giving away free groceries. So that was a blessing, and people are so grateful. And it just fills your heart when you're able to give back, because that's what we're supposed to do during this time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. And again, humanitarian efforts, as you continue to thrive through COVID, as you continue to prosper through COVID, always remember to give back, because we are no greater than our community. And that is really a true statement. Even in this season, I mean, when you think about the devastation, the reality of it is that the homeless are being housed, people that we've overlooked for many, many years in this area, housing, people are able to afford to live in their housing for once in a great moon. And so these are some things that are happening. So there's some positive sides to the situation, and that's what we want to look at and talk about. Let's see, Giovanna Hughes, like to hear from you.
Hi. So COVID has impacted the business in that the access, I'm in insurance sales, so it's impacted the business, and that it's typically face-to-face. And we can't do that now.
Okay.
But overall, it hasn't impacted my income.
Okay.
Sorry.
So what are you doing to connect with clients? Because obviously insurance is a referral business. It's a repeat business. It's one of those areas where you can definitely grow tremendously from the continual renewals. So what are you doing to increase your customer service connection, increase your, your visibility in your clients, and to reassure them? What is it that you're doing in your business that way?
So what I'm doing with my team, because we focus primarily on worksite marketing within LA County, right? So I'm holding power call clinics, like power hours with my team, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, where we're connecting with existing clients, letting them know what our new offers are. We're sending them digital postcards. When they are ready to enroll or make adjustments, it's either via Zoom or DigiSigner, and sometimes we're just doing actual calls over the phone and taking the information. It takes much longer, but it's also meeting everybody where they are. Even though Zoom has definitely changed a lot of our lives, some people still don't have access to laptops. So they can do it at work, but they can't do it at home. So, you know, we just make the adjustment. So really what I'm doing at this point is just trying to not fight, but to lean into what the next is so that we stay relevant. And some of the people on my team who are accustomed to just meeting in person and writing everything out on paper, like paper applications, helping them to learn to adjust. Because it really is about my team's survival.
Absolutely, and it's about people. I mean, we're in the people business, and a lot of us have been so busy that we have often we forget about the people. I mean, at least not the people in front of you. I mean, I know in my business, I travel all the time. I'm always, you know, someplace. And so being stationary in Zoom, I've been able to connect with people and all kind of stuff. So for a lot of people, it's really shifting. And because we're in a people service business, most of us, our ability to connect with people and encourage them and reinforce them is going to create long-term clientele, because they're going to remember. I've heard people in churches saying, you know, it's the churches that maybe they're not familiar with have reached out to them and things like that through other resources. And they've even changed churches in the middle of Zoom because people where they were, because we're in a people business. It's always about the people, you know, and we have to really remember that. And so what we've been able to do now in reinventing ourselves is making people our primary focus and figuring out how do we service them? How do we serve them? How do we help them? What are we doing in our own business as we step outside of our own discomforts, and our own challenges to be of value and service? And that's really what the primary basis of our business. Most people got into business because they thought they can do it better than the people they were working for, right? And so here we are now having the opportunity to do that. And again, it's not necessarily the ideal situation, but if we take a hold of this, we can come on the other side. It's again, financially and economically sound and prosperous. We can also come out helping our communities in ways that have not, because there's lots of resources that are now being diverted to our communities. And so people like Angela and her team are now diverting and bringing resources and information. But it's not just about us sitting on these calls and getting information. It's about what can I do with them to advance? What can I do with them so I can not only take that information and share it, but now I can incorporate that into my team, to humanitarian efforts. So it's vitally important that we continue to keep these things on the forefront of our mind, because if we look at the news, all we're going to get is doom and gloom. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at the news, and I'm not saying you shouldn't be abreast of what's happening. But again, unless you plan on dying in the season, you're going to survive COVID. What are you going to do? What does that look like for your business? Miss Ginyard, Halima, want to hear from you. Halima, is that something? H-A-L-I-M.
Halima sent a chat and said she's got a lot of construction going on in her house, so it's going to be real loud. So
Okay.
Pass.
All right, next. You could type something in the chat as well, Halima. Someone else, participant. I want to hear your voice. Thomas Dominique.
Hi, good morning. Yes, this is Thomas. Hello, everybody. I'm Thomas Dominique. I'm with Battles Transportation. We're a DC-based company with an office here in Los Angeles, and we primarily transport people to various events like, conferences. We do a lot of stuff with the school districts. We take people to and from doctor's appointments. So because of COVID, a lot of our things, with the exception of the medical appointments, has been tremendously impacted because everybody's staying away from large gatherings. The kids are going virtual. So as a business, we've been, really digging into what our core competencies are. And we realized that we had a lot of vehicles that we, primarily use to transport people. So we decided that, hey, since we can't transport people, let's start looking at doing other kind of services within the transportation arena. So that includes like, food delivery services, moving and relocation services. Also, doing like last mile delivery, where we take, a passenger van that we would typically transport people in. We could actually take all the seats out and turn it into a cargo van. So we're trying to partner with like Amazon and UPS, with more people being at home, more people are ordering things online. So, you know, and we're also continuing our business development. There are certain aspects of transportation, you know, like metro and public transit systems that are still running, that still require, you know, people to operate those systems and companies to operate those systems. So there are opportunities out there. You know, we've lost quite a bit of revenue, but we think that because of the service that we've delivered in the past, that our clients will understand, you know, and know that we're still here for them when things do turn around. But we are trying to stay visible. You know, we're doing some marketing campaigns. We're doing some radio ads because we want to let people know that we're out there and we're still there to support the community, and especially for those folks that need to get to critical medical appointments like dialysis and any other outpatient services. So we just want to let the community know that we're still there, and just kind of, you know, we want to maintain that fighting spirit through all of this.
Absolutely.
You know, we don't get to interact with our clients nearly as much as we did. So we're taking advantage of Zoom calls like this to get the message out. We're trying to participate in different chamber events in the different markets that we serve, like in Philadelphia. We're sitting on as many roundtables as we can. I think the key is really just to stay visible. Don't allow yourself to fade away just because things are bad. Because I do agree with you that clients and the communities that you serve, they will remember you because you were visible during a crisis. So, you know, I take my hat off to all the entrepreneurs on this call that are still getting out there fighting every day. You know, we're doing the same.
Absolutely. You know, and it's so true. I mean, Thomas, you have hit the head on the nail on the head. They did a study after the Great Depression, and what they found, and there's many companies that survived the Great Depression that we still utilize today. And what they found is that companies that kept their marketing dollars, that stayed in front of their clients, those companies actually survived the Great Depression. And the reason why is because the people have more confidence in them. Companies that took their marketing dollars, which traditionally that's what people do, the first thing they cut are their marketing. Well, I can't do this, I can't do that. That is not the way to go. Thomas has the right idea. So what they found is that companies that maintained their marketing, stayed in the presence and the face of their people, they actually survived the Great Depression. It built confidence in their brand. It built confidence that the company was stable in spite of whatever was going on around them. And it also built a relationship and a rapport because of the relationship building that happened in challenging times. People remember. And so again, if you don't think you can afford marketing, that is not where you want to cut your budget. You want to start getting social media, even if you have to record yourself. I know people are camera shy and all the different excuses we have why we haven't done it. Do it, because that's what people need to know. They need to know you're out there. They need to know services. Just like the young lady said, she's writing grants instead of what she was doing before. Another person on the call is like, hey, I need that. I have these nonprofits. I have these things. I'm kind of sitting on the fence. Help me. You know, I do a lot of stuff in construction. We always talk about teaming. And it's a great concept. But what better time than now than a team? You know, what better time now than to really figure out who's in your network and how you can work together to advance and create economic sustainability. You know, we have to have economic power if we want social justice. We can say Black Lives Matter, we can have all these different things, but it needs to matter in industry. It needs to matter in the corporate boardroom. And it's more than just getting money from organizations. It's actually changing the face. I'm a huge supplier diversity advocate. So it's not just about getting the finances. That's great. But then how do we use them and grow that money? Because it's not just about getting it and spending it and using it, but it's about growing it. So again, we have now investments. We have money and that's yielding a return on our investment. You know, you do one Zoom run recording and you can play that over and over and over again. So again, there's tons of strategies that we really need to be considering. And I'm so glad to hear the positiveness of people on this call. And I know I attribute a lot of that to Angela and just her pushing forward as well on her team, because I'm on other calls and it's like everything, the world's one held in a handbasket, and even though they're going to survive it, they don't know how. You know, and so it's great to hear that you guys are being innovative and creative. And I believe, again, in disenfranchised communities, we've been forced to do that. Chitlins came from, because that's all we had left, was how we going to make something with what's left over. And so we are accustomed to surviving in challenging times. And so this is nothing different, you know, but we have to be reminded, and not enough of us are talking about how do we not only survive COVID, how do we thrive in COVID? How do we become financially better than what we were before COVID started? How do you take, whether you get unemployment, because if you are a small business, you can actually collect unemployment. That wasn't always the case, but you can. They will go retroactive from March 15th to, I think, July 31st. And you can take and use that money to not only sow and invest into a future opportunity, but to grow your business. And if you have a money pit, don't put that money in a money pit. If your business was it was dying before COVID, COVID probably saved you and at least kept you afloat for another couple months. Don't put your money in a money pit. You got to be honest with yourself. You may not be honest with me, but be honest with yourself. Many of us have ideas. We have strategies, things that we wish we could do, but we were too busy to do them, right? Because all of us have these goals and our dreams, and then we have a way that we earn a living. Use this time to figure out, because when you do what you love, it doesn't feel like work. And I'm not saying it as a cliche. I'm saying that you're in a season now where the dreams that you had and you couldn't do it because you had to work these long hours, because you had all these different reasons. Guess what? They're gone now. You don't have those excuses. So now it's time to put the foot to the metal, say, I'm going to do this. I have a dream. I have an idea, and put some time and some energy into it. Put some equity into your own value and creating values for yourself. This is the season that we're in. And the great thing is that everybody's kind of slowed down at the same pace. So it's not like people are going ahead of you. But again, everybody's not broke. There is no shortage of money. I know that's sometimes we say that, but it's true. There's no shortage of money. You think because COVID happened that money just disappeared? It didn't. It's just a shifting hands. Some people are sitting on it. Your job and your goal is to figure out how to get the money from those hands into your hands. What do they need? What services can you provide? What are talents and skills you have that maybe you have not tapped into that you can tap into now because people are looking for it? That's where we're at. Those are the questions we need to be asking. That's what we need to be talking about and repeating to ourselves over and over and over again. Who else do I have? 818. Who's 818-398? I want to hear from you. I don't see your name. (398-6584). Can we hear from you? All right. Who's everyone in team? EI. I'm calling you out. This is the interactive workshop. Everyone in team 818.
Uh-oh. Did you ask something about everyone in team?
Yes, I did. How are you?
I'm okay. I have no idea why it says everyone in team. I just signed up for it because I got an invite. And so, but my name is Charlene.
Hi, Charlene. How are you?
I'm okay. And so I am, okay, this is the deal. You know, I retired from the city of San Diego. I know I got to keep this short. And I moved to LA to take care of my mom. And so now it's been 7 years, and my mom made it to 99. She passed in November. And my millennial daughter, who has many skills and should be listening to this. I have skills too, but you know. And so we came up to take care of mom. Mom passed, and now I'm trying to get it together. So I don't know what the heck I am. I opened up some kind of business because I got into this real estate thing. You know, you follow that thing. So I like something investments, you know, but I retired doing engineering. So I know I have many skills. I just don't know what to do with it. So I'm really listening to try to figure out my life. And I'm still young. I'm 63. My millennial daughter, I raised her. I took care of mommy. Now it's time for me to get my act together. So that's why I'm calling to figure out what that, and I'm in LA for good. See, I left in 79, and we won't go into how I got, you know, where I went, but I'm back. So that's who I am. And I don't know how to change that everyone in teams. So I need Zoom instruction.
If you go to participants and you list it up by your name, it says rename, you could change it to your name. But thank you so much for sharing that. Again, GLAAACC is a great resource. If you're in Los Angeles, GLAAACC and their team and all the people on this call, there's approximately 26 participants. I'm sure if you connect with any one of them, they can maybe lead you in the right direction, maybe resources that they themselves have used and accessed in order to propel themselves forward, in order to get to where we are today and to this point. So thank you again so much for sharing.
And I got time. I'm retired, so now I have time to figure out what the heck I'm doing.
Well, connect with Angela. She's an amazing resource. Jeannie Tanter. Jeannie Tanter. Jim Galvez, Janie Jackson, Jim Galvez, Michelle Moore-Bell, Quentin Williams.
Janie, I spoke.
Janie.
I spoke earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the
Right.
I was
Quentin
the one who
Williams.
asked for help from Aldina, Aldina Lee.
Okay. Excellent. Quentin Williams. Sharon
Hi.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you? How has COVID impacted you?
In several ways. Well, I'm a doctor of chiropractic, and
Okay.
I've been practiced for 15, but recently opened the office 2.5 years ago. So I went from seeing like 20 to sometimes 30 people a day to 6 people a week.
Okay.
So that that downtime, actually, I took advantage of it by just putting more effort in and catching up on old document files, billing, paperwork I needed to do, implementing new programs. And since the onset of the pandemic, I've been steady with like stuff like this, either like Zoom or a webinar or a conference call. I'm doing like at least 3 or 4 of my schedule per week since then. So just staying relevant, learning new things, how I can implement new measures. And since then, I've done some construction and revamped. I went all digital on my paperwork. So the downtime actually gave me a chance to refocus and rebuild.
Okay.
And
You said you started selling any TENS units or anything like that?
Yeah, I've always had that in place, but I started doing other things as far as like bracing and actually in the beginning I started doing teletherapy, to where I was seeing my patients out home and doing like posture assessments and helping them go through exercises while on video. So that helped out a great deal. So it was not face-to-face, but it still helped out. And as an essential worker, I actually never closed, so I just had a very limited schedule.
Okay. Oh,
So
great.
I just
Thank you so much.
stayed busy and relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's definitely what we need to do in this time. Thank you so much for sharing that. Jim Galvez, are you available? Rainford Hunter, Sharon Johnson, Susanna Choi, I'm gonna call you out. We want to hear from you. We want to hear how maybe you have something that other people need. Maybe you have something we need. Anyone else? All right.
Hear from you, Catherine. I want to hear what you have to say.
Hello?
So yes. Who is that? I hear someone else.
Susanna. That's Susanna.
Susanna. Hi, Susanna.
Hi. My name is Susanna, and I can't put myself on camera because I was taking care of my mom with surgery, and she left. I look like a wreck. But I have a multicultural marketing business, so I help clients reach more of the Asian market to get more of that share. And I had fabulous clients before COVID, but now because, I do basically community engagement, you can't really do that legally. So my customer base has definitely, they don't need me as much. So I have to figure out how to pivot.
Okay.
So that's what I'm dealing with.
All right. So what do I have to say? What I have to say again is life is all about perspective. And I think, again, I've been doing Zoom calls and all these things, again, like many of you since COVID. And for me, my goal is to change the perspective. And again, I hear a great perspective, a great positive perspective on this particular call. And so I'm so glad to hear that. And so it's all about perspective. So basically, whether you, whether you emerge as a winner or not is basically rooted in your mindset. Basically, what I find, again, as business owners, sometimes, our hustle slows down. And that's what happens. And this is a season where, maybe you've gotten comfortable in your business, things were going pretty well. And we got to get back to hustling. There are a lot of tools and resources that, if we're honest, we're not utilizing in order to grow our business. We need to be innovative. There are strategies and things. There's things that you've been seeing, even if you're an employee, you've been seeing ways that your job could do it better, but there really wasn't an opportunity for you to do that. You were just trying to get things done, get from your 8 to 5. And now that people have time, we need to be innovative. Again, a lot of the technologies that we have are not new. They're just things that we haven't utilized, we haven't taken advantage of. And so it becomes really important that we become innovative, that we think innovatively. If we become solution oriented, people, as we see people struggling with strategies or challenges, we have solutions. We all have solutions. We all look at situations. We look at our girlfriends. We're like, oh, girl, you should just do it this way. Or somebody says something like, how come we just didn't do it that way? There's so many different things that kind of pop through our head, and we don't always give ourselves enough credence. But this is a time where we need to implement strategies, not just for the season, but to secure our economic advantages. This is a time where you can go on Zoom, and now you're not just reaching your local marketplace, but you're reaching internationally. You can get into other countries. I do some projects, and, you know, people that get on that hear about some of the things that we're doing, they're like in London. You know, some guy was in Jordan, and because they're on a Zoom call, they can actually access information and resource. I have a young lady I've been working with. She's going to be doing some teaching possibly in Bosnia. But again, because of technology, we can take our products and services to the worldwide marketplace. But it's all about perspective. Once we've gotten over the shock of things along with that, then the reality of it is how do we move forward? But we have to start thinking about moving forward. And the question you have to ask yourself, do you plan on surviving COVID? And if so, what are you going to do about that? What is going to be your next step? What's going to be your business? Are you going to keep doing things the way that you're doing them now, or do you need to do something different? Because, of course, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and hoping to get different results. And a lot of us are in this kind of insane process of this, and we kind of get a rah-rah, and then we look at the news, and then we kind of go back down again. I do not want to imply that it's easy for everyone, that everyone's just thriving. That's not necessarily the case. But what I do know is that statistically and historically speaking, you can look it up yourself, people do thrive after economic downturns. It's your job, our job as a community to help you take it to the next level. Thank you. Andrew, next. So reinvent. What is reinventing? We've had several people share examples of how they reinvented their business. Sometimes a business just needs a facelift to reinvent, repackage, and simply innovate their business strategy to see economic growth. Again, sometimes these things have been looming over our heads, ideas and thoughts that we've had, but we just didn't have time to do them. Maybe we didn't have the resources. But because a lot of us now have time, whether you have resources or not, you can learn these tools. I mean, you got YouTube University. You can pretty much learn almost anything on the internet. And again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying that we have to be more structured and more focused on how do we put ourselves back in front of people. You know, a lot of times as women, I know men do it, but a lot of times women are like, how do I reinvent myself? Maybe you dye your hair, or you cut your hair, or you change your wardrobe, you know, that kind of thing. That's the same thing you got to do in your business. I work with in economic development, and so we did what they call a facade program. And the facade program was the companies were still the same, but they went in the downtown area and they changed the whole face of the company to make it look more modern. That's what a lot of us have to do to our businesses. We need to change it and put it in the face of people so it's more modern. Not because what you do is not good enough or not okay. It's simply that it needs to be looked or marketed differently. It needs to be looked at. How can someone do that? Just like the gentleman doing transportation. Okay, we're no longer transporting people. We're not transporting as many people, but we can transport cargo. This is ways that we can reinvent ourselves. And so again, one of the reasons why I like to get feedback from people, because I don't want to be a talking head. I can say, oh, reinvent yourself. Well, that's great, but what does that look like? You know, what if I have gray hair that won't turn blonde or that won't dye? What does that look like? You know, there are things that we need to talk about in reinventing yourself. But we also need to learn how to invest in our business resources. One of the things that I've seen, I know people who have seen more money during this economic crisis than they saw way before the crisis, more money they've seen in their lifetime. They've gotten idle funding, they've gotten these other types of funding, things like that. And it's like, one lady, she got 25, and she's like, it was only 25,000, but she's like, I don't even know what to do with it. You know, some people weren't expecting it. There are people who were expecting to get funding and they didn't. So again, we got to utilize teaming. We have to think about, how do I invest to create the maximum return on my investment for my time? If you're sitting at home and you're attending all these Zoom calls, I know people that are Zoomed out. Are you getting a return on your investment? If you're spending 5 hours a day on Zoom, what is the ROI on that? Are you making money off of that? Are you making new business contacts? If not, you might need to minimize the amount of Zoom calls you participate in. A lot of people are doing Zoom, they're over-informed, but their businesses have not grown, because you can't reinvent yourself if you don't implement strategies that you've learned. And you might implement strategies that may not work. That's okay, but do something. just getting information isn't going to be good enough to take you to the next level, but information is vitally important. So again, if you're doing 5-10 Zoom calls a day, great. But are you staying up late? Are you implementing the information? Are you contacting people that you meet on Zoom? Are you following up and following through? A lot of people are on the calls and they feel like they're doing, but they're just busy. They're just busy. They're not actually being productive. So this is, again, some strategies we need to think about. We need to step back and say, am I benefiting from this? And there's a lot of great information out there, but you got to figure out what's going to be the straight line from you, from where you are and where you're trying to get to. Next slide. Thank you, Andrew. Retool. So you need to determine whether you need new skills or to upgrade your business rehab. So what does that mean? So last year, because I do speaking, I've been doing training and I taught college for many years, for the last 20 years. But I got to a place in my business where sometimes I was extremely busy and sometimes it was very slow. And so I started and launched a retreat business called Diva Destinations. And my goal was to do my own retreats. So I wasn't sitting around waiting for people to call me. And although I have a pretty robust client base, there are definitely times where it's feast or famine. And so I decided to launch my own retreat company. So I could do my own conference. I could talk about things that I think are important, not just with things that people want to pay me to talk about. And so, of course, I did that. And because I was very busy in the end of 2019, as well as in the early part of 2020, I didn't do a lot with it. But when the crisis happened and I started doing a lot more virtual workshops and not just webinars where I'm just talking a talking head, because that's just not my thing, they were more interactive. I actually launched a whole online virtual platform. And so I utilize Zoom, but we do bottle service, we do food service, we have breakout rooms where people can go and we do games. I have hosts and hostesses. We have DJs live in our event. So we take an ordinary Zoom event that's just traditional, looking at the slides, oh, who else is on here? And we make them interactive and engaging. And so I took my retreat business and now I have a virtual retreat business. We do swag bags. So let's say you want to do a virtual retreat. We'll send you some, stuff for your eyes, some facial stuff, send you some slippers as part of our swag bags. We do all kinds of different things and you're still networking and connecting with people, but now it's much more interactive. We have a game host, so we have a whole game where we do scavenger hunts and we do all kinds of things that people give prizes, and now all the prizes are virtual. So those are different ways that I personally have retooled. And as we shared on the call, there are many ways that other people have retooled. That's just one strategy. And that business is actually growing, and it's actually a certified minority business enterprise, which is even more great. So along with that, that is the strategy that I use to retool. I took something that I already had and I added some technology to it. And now I'm utilizing that, and that's a whole separate marketplace for what I do. And many other people on the call are doing the same thing. But again, sometimes when you hear what other people are doing, it helps us think about things that we can do to retool. And so for me, I had to learn a little bit more about technology. I had to, partner and team with people that might be stronger in that area than I am. But it's increasing my economic growth because more and more people are tired of the same old Zoom platform, tired of just sitting there listening to someone talk. They want to interact. They want to engage. They want to feel like they're really connecting with people. And so that platform is allowing people to do that. We do themed events. We just did Atlantic City Nights for the National Association of Minority Contractors. And the feedback was amazing. We're sending out gift cards. We gave $50 gift cards, $25 gift cards for playing and winning games. Those are strategies you can use to retool. Make yourself more marketable. Make yourself stand out. Give people a unique experience with you because now you're more intimate with them, even though may not be physically there with them, because the conversations are different. The emails are different. The way you connect with people are different. And so these are some strategies that we can use to retool. Thank you, Andrew. Next. Retreat. Love it or leave it. Sometimes walking away from things that we've invested time and resources in can be really, really difficult. And so again, there are some businesses, they were the money pit before COVID. And if you're being able to resource your business and you have other ideas and other strategies, you got to be honest. Sometimes there's things.
These chairs in my Kia Optima.
So sometimes there's things that we really love, but sometimes we got to let go of them. And so it's really important this time that we take an honest assessment of where we're at, not only ourselves personally, but where we are in our business. Sometimes we just have lost the passion for a business. And if you have lost the passion for your business, then maybe it's time to retreat. And again, that's not an easy decision to make, but it's definitely something that if you want to thrive, you need to find something that you love to do. This is a season where you should be doing what you love. You should be working with people that you love to work with, that you enjoy working with. I've been doing, again, corporate training for 20 years. I've done Coca-Cola, Payless, you name it, Top College. 80% of people hate their job. And the ones that don't hate their job, they hate the people they're working with. So you're working at home now, you're isolated, so you don't have to work with the people that you work with. At least you don't see them face to face. So what are you going to do about it? Because we no longer have those same excuses. So again, this is a time that you need to learn if you got to hold them or fold them. And again, it's not my job to tell you what to do, but just simply to ask the questions are, are you preserving assets and keeping them from the money pit? Or are you taking resources or holding back resources that you need to invest in yourself? Maybe you need to invest in yourself. If you don't feel good about yourself being on camera, and we're in a season, at least probably till the end of 2020, that you're gonna have to be on Zoom calls. You can't just have your name and that's it, and nobody sees you ever. Because people want to connect. People are starving to connect with you. So maybe part of that investment is investing in yourself, learning how to dye your hair, going on YouTube University, whatever that may be for you. Because you can't just have a black screen because I don't want to be on camera. I don't want to be that. Maybe looking into that. Because again, this is a time where people want to connect. They want to see you. They want to get a sense that you're connecting with them. And so this is a huge, huge challenge for us as business owners so that we can continue to meet and network and meet the demands of people all over the world. Again, the great thing about the technology platform that we're being forced to use is that it gives us access to people that we may not ever meet. Might not have ever met. Maybe they would not come to our event, but because it's a Zoom meeting, maybe they were always working during the GLAAACC and the AM, but because now we're on Zoom and maybe they have more freedom because of social distancing, they're working from home, they can participate in things like this. Most of us were too busy to be on the computer all day long. But a lot more of us are finding ourselves on these Zoom calls. So we need to be connecting with people. We need to make sure that our screens are shown most of the time. These are some ways that you need to either reinvest in yourself, retool. Sometimes it's a personal just getting better, feeling better about who you are as a person. Because it can be very challenging to have your identity in your work and then to recognize that job is either closed down or shut down, or you're not connecting with people because you're not going in because of social distancing. So that becomes really important. So investing in money pits can be the difference between keeping your shirt or losing your pants. And timing is everything when it comes to an economic preservation. Next. Okay. So reposition. So treasuring your business sometimes means stepping outside of your local network and taking your ideas, your business to new markets. I'm all about recycling Black dollars and I'm all about the initiatives of our community, but why not tap into other communities that can utilize your services? Why not go global and go into other countries and other places? Just using the dollars within your own community is great, but tapping into the dollars of other communities is equally as valuable. And so we want to make sure that because we now have an opportunity through technology to reach in a community that we might not have ever maybe stepped into, or maybe we don't know a lot of people from different communities, this is a time that we can do that. Through Facebook and through different ads, through social media, just in general. People have a need for your service or a need for product you provide. So again, this is a time for us to take ourselves to new markets. The global marketplace is being primed for all types of businesses. We need to learn strategies that will take you outside of your comfort zone. We need to, again, I say outside of our comfort zone, but into more of life comforts. I'm a big thing, I love, life comforts. That's, I love that. And I believe, again, in economic prosperity. And it's been a journey. It's not always, roses or whatever, but it's always about perspective. I'm always moving to the next big thing. I'm always moving to the next level or season of economic stability. And I want that for the people on this call as well. So again, someone needs what you're offering, and your responsibility is to find them. Your responsibility is to find them. That is your responsibility. So even in the economic times, the challenges, again, everybody's not broke. So what is your job in repositioning yourself? What is your job in retooling? What is your job in the art of reinventing who you are, what your business stands for, where you're going to go, what your new marketing strategy is to find the people that need your services. Someone needs you. Someone needs you. That's why you went into business. You got to figure out who it is. And this is where you get off the call and you start following up on the contacts. This is where you get off the call and you've been on Zoom call now sometime since March. Follow up on those people that you've connected with. Follow up on those links and those emails, the people's business cards that you've gotten electronically. People who put their names in the chat rooms, like what's happening here. Follow up on those calls. That is how you're going to re-strategize. That is how you're going to become economically successful, even in challenging times and crisis. But you are responsible. I know we have these different challenges with government and all that, but they've never taken care of us. We've always had to figure out how to survive and take care of our families. This season is no different. So it's my prayer for you, my belief that you will survive this. Not only will you survive, but you will thrive. That there are valuable resources through GLAAACC and many, many other organizations. There are valuable resources to the people on this call, on this Zoom call, that you can connect with. Don't let connection just be something you do and you get to the next thing. Really sit down and connect with people. There are people who are so resourced on this call. Angela Gibson has so many tools. She can't even give them all to you guys. Connect. Naomi and Chanel and so many other people that have talked and shared. Find out what other people are doing so that has sustained their businesses. Because again, we're at like 1 degree of separation. So I really, really want to encourage you all to continue to move forward, to continue to have faith in yourself, faith in your ability to survive anything, faith in your ability that you are a dream maker, that you're the person that's going to make things come true. That's who you are. So again, if you want to connect with me, my phone number is 949-478-0186. I also have an app I will put in the link in the chat room. Or you could just text DEEVA, DEEVA, to 90407. Again, that is DEEVA to 90407. And you can see my app. So once you get that, you'll get a link. Click on the link. And it'll show you not only the things I'm doing, you can put your information in the contact, and I'll contact you. I'm not going to spam you. Too busy to do that. But again, we not only do training, but we host virtual platforms where you can do all the speaking, and we just host and we do all the games and everything else like that, and you just show up and have a good time. So those are many things that we do.
Can you
I'm
repeat
open
your
for
phone
questions.
number? Can you?
My phone number is 947-801-86. And if you'd like to see my app, you can text DEEVA, DEEVA, to 90407. And when you do that, you'll get a link. Just click on the link and you'll be able to go through our app and you'll be able to connect with me, see some of the things that we're doing to make Zoom and virtual platforms more engaging and more fun, more interactive.
What's that thing we text to right now again?
So you text DEEVA, DEEVA, and then the number you're going to text the word DEEVA to is 90407. You're welcome. So I'm open for questions and answers. I think we have about 10 minutes for that. And I want to hear some feedback.
This is Aldina Lee. I just wanted to tell you, Miss Diva, I really enjoyed your presentation. Everything you said, I have been putting the wheels in motion, and I am part of the business evolution program through GLAAACC. Angela and the team, it is a phenomenal program. I'm in the first cohort, and everything you talked about, we're also learning within the program, and it is about connection. It truly is. So if all of you are listening, you know, join these type organizations and become a part of them. And then, you know, you never know, you could be selected, like me and my cohorts were for the program. And it's do this program, I guess, for the next 9 months. And it's phenomenal already. And we just got started. So I encourage each and every one of you. And you will only go as far as you want to go. So I will be using all tools on every conference call that I'm on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to call you, Diva. I got a project for you.
Oh, fantastic. Someone
this
else?
is Giovanna. Outstanding. I got a lot of things that I will start implementing right away. I see that we are recording. We have access to this on a website. I definitely think it should be shared with people. I was, looking at some of the slides you had that really I could share with my team.
Absolutely. I don't know. That's up to Angela, but I'm open to it. It's free for all.
I thought it was outstanding.
Thank you. Someone else, what are we going to take away from this? We did the call, we did the Zoom, we have a call to action. You have a call to action for your business. What are you going to do next? What's your next step? And don't tell me get on the next Zoom call.
Follow-up is key.
Follow-up is key. Follow-up is key.
Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, I can. This is Michelle Moore Bell. Everything was great. I am a hair care, beauty, and wellness expert. I am doing well with my business, even though the salon is closed. And the main thing, I am staying connected and engaged and following up with my clients. So it has really been a good time. It has allowed me to do things that I didn't have time to do before.
Yeah.
So it's really been a blessing. It's been many a times I said, Lord, if only I could have 30 days off. I've been off since March. It's truly been a blessing. So I just do what I do to help people. I have a nonprofit, the Wellness Group. Every year we have a free event. So this year it will be virtual. I still want to engage with the people and give them good health information. So I'm just loving this time off. And I do know Angela, and you both are great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Miss Bell. Thank you, Miss Bell. Someone else. What are you going to do next? What's next?
Michelle, and I wanted to say thank you so much. You were really helpful, and I really do want to give you a call. I have to get off the call now, but I just really appreciate your time. Thank you for giving us that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for showing up. Showing up is half the battle, even on Zoom. Someone else, what are you going to do next? Tell me what you're going to do. I want to hear your next steps.
This is Janie Jackson. This call was amazing. Sorry that you can't see my face. I'm not tech savvy at all, and I didn't have time to get my granddaughter to come and help me do this. But anyway,
what are you going to do next, Miss Janie?
I'm going to spring forth and do a new thing, make some connections from, follow up on some connections from this call, get off the fence and get it happening, get it moving.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that. Someone else, what are you going to do next? Tell us what you're going to do next. Inspire us.
So I think for me, this is Jacqueline Johnson. I think for me, I'm just trying to do more networking and connecting with other businesses because I am very new to LA. I am a Ohio girl by nature and spent a little time in Minnesota. So I've only been in LA going on 2 years. So just meeting new business people here to feel, comfortable in the space. Because a lot of our clients and customers are out of state. So I would like to connect with more businesses here just to find out how everyone is and just get some helpful information and give some helpful information.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Someone else, what are you going to do next?
Hey, Catherine, this is Thomas. So I think Thomas, for us, what we're focusing on now is really being thought leaders in the transportation space. Reaching out to our clients and our peer groups so we can kind of stimulate conversations about what to do next and how to pivot and reinvent our businesses. But I'm telling my team, let's be at the forefront of this, new way forward. And, before COVID, we kind of had the luxury of, sitting back and just, doing business. We didn't really, we kind of went about our business with our head down. Because I'm kind of like a low-key person, so I really didn't believe that the spotlight was needed. But now going forward, especially for a minority-owned business, visibility and getting in front and being a thought leader. So we're engaging like our local chamber of commerces more, you know, and not just being on Zoom calls, but actually trying to lead the calls. And you know, I think that thought leadership is what people want to know. What are you doing? How are you pivoting? And, you know, what are your plans for the future? And what kind of services can you render when you come out of this? Or as you're going through it. So we're taking on like this kind of this mantra of being more visible and being thought leaders in the transportation space.
Yes. Thank you so very much. Thank you. So what are you going to do next? We can't say go to Disneyland. So what is it? How's your business going to grow and thrive?
This is Kareem. I'm just going to just continue to do these studio sessions and continue to perfect my lighting skills, to make myself better during this COVID thing. So I'm not doing as much work. I can try to find ways to enhance work that I was kind of not as great at. So just try to enhance myself, make myself better so I can reach out and get a different clientele.
Yeah, you know, and a lot of people, I was just again doing a training on Tuesday and targeting things like that. And so there's still lots because people have to create videos. If you have an iPhone, you can use iMovie with still shots, things like that. So there may be something, I don't know if that's your area of expertise, but maybe there's some way that you can hone it because, you know, people are doing it more in home. And so maybe if you did even a YouTube video on how to do that, how to take your still shots and turn them into an iMovie, things like that. I mean, it sounds simple, but there's some ways that people can do their own little videos at home and you can provide valuable information. And then again, it becomes it becomes back and forth reciprocal.
Yeah.
So
I used to do headshots too. So that whole thing even works out. Sometimes during this time, people need headshots for the website and things like that.
Absolutely.
So, you know, I just really reinvented myself.
Yes.
Very good.
Even
Thank you
some
so
type
much.
of teaching, I would like to add, even some type of teaching, because I have a 17-year-old daughter who wants to get into photography. And so even offering that maybe as a youth teaching session, what I think would be great too.
Yes, yeah.
Absolutely. All right. You hear that, Kareem? You got somebody over there gonna help the youth.
Yes, and I'm sometimes willing to help the youth just on, is it like being a mentor? Because a lot of times in the industry, you don't have those, you can, it's on photography, a lot of people feel it's like so much competition. So you'll ask photographers questions, you won't get certain answers, but I'm willing to talk to kids and, you know, lift them up and, you know, even see their work and just encourage them. Because and when you get deeper into the industry, you know, you do certain events and certain things, you'll notice even more people of our color are not involved in those different events.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great. Thank you so much. Someone else, what are you going to do? How are you reinventing yourself? How are you positioning yourself? What are you going to do next?
This is Reinvention. I haven't spoken yet.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
My business is proactive sports compliance. Proactive sports compliance. We provide, you know, compliance to colleges and universities, helping them to comply with NCAA rules and things like that. But you know, we have a specific framework that I've developed when I was in the environmental, you know, business, and I have sort of, you know, reinvented that framework, and figured out a way to introduce it or transpose it to the collegiate athletic compliance industry. So that's kind of what I'm doing now. We have been impacted by COVID, you know, because as you know, colleges and universities, most of them, you know, were closed. So I couldn't get a hold of athletic directors that I needed to speak with, you know, compliance officers, you know, people like those. However, since COVID, I have been spending, you know, just reinvented myself and my business, you know, spending more time fine tuning, you know, my marketing strategy. As a matter of fact, I have since developed or signed on with Constant Contact. And what I've been doing there is I've been sending out weekly emails to a list that I've developed. And my list is over almost 1,000 now with all college presidents, chancellors, athletic directors, so on and so forth. I'm on my 7th email, and one of the things we look for in constant contact is to see how many people are unsubscribing. And so far, I have only had 6 people unsubscribed. So what that tells me is that the information, they're putting it and they're reading it. It hasn't resulted in a business yet because my business is a fairly new business. But it tells me that the interest is there. So it's
Absolutely.
it's just a matter of figuring out how to be aggressive with my marketing or coming up with marketing, plan. I'm thinking about doing a podcast, maybe or a weekly Zoom meeting or something like that. So just different, strategies from a marketing standpoint I'm thinking about.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Someone else, what are you going to do next?
Good morning. My name is Tracy. And I have 2 businesses. One, I'm a certified sign painter, so I do banners and wall murals and graphics for businesses. And I also am a certified crochet designer, so I teach crochet and I design custom items for clients. So currently I'm out, my sign painting allows me to do windows and walls and things of that nature, and social distance because, I don't have to have anyone around me. So I'm out and about doing that. And then with my crochet, I'm teaching online classes and I'm also designing custom items for clients. But I am scheduled to participate in a pop-up shop on the 20th of September in West LA.
Oh, wow.
That's something new. They are social distancing. I'm sorry, it's not West LA, it's West Hollywood. And they're social distancing, so they will only allow like 5 clients in the venue at a time. So that, and everyone has to wear a mask or whatever. It's just something different and new. I haven't done it before, but I'm just trying to get myself out and, network and introduce myself to new people and just get out of my little cubby hole or my box, So
absolutely. Well, good luck to you. Thank you so much for sharing. Someone else, what are you going to do next? Anyone else?
This sounds like a good time.
Yes.
To share some upcoming announcements that we have.
Hi, everyone. Well, thank you so much, Catherine, for an amazing session. I know that everyone took a lot of information away, and I think people are inspired. I see so many comments in the chat about their businesses and different ways. I hope that everyone will learn how to partner and team up and really maximize the information that you gave them today. So I'm very excited. Oh, I'm so sorry. By the way, my name is Chanel Frampton. I'm the GLAAACC program director, if you don't see it on the screen. And so we're just really excited, Catherine, for all that you shared today. And I also wanted to thank our GLAAACC team, and a special thanks to the Prime Small Business Service, specializing in event tech, support software development, and website development. So for all those businesses that need help with their website development, Andrew Dillard, who helped us today with Prime Small Business Services, can definitely assist you with those needs. I encourage everyone to go on our GLAAACC website. You will have more information on resources that you can use during this time in COVID, as well as please join. I know Aldina spoke about our wonderful BEP program, and so we have just an incredible array of information and resources that we can share for you, all of our members. So I encourage each and every one of you to join. On September 17th, we will have another GLAAACC in the AM, sponsored by JP Morgan Chase, Investing in You, and you will be able to sign up for that soon. So we just thank you everyone for joining us today. We will be sending out an email with this recording so that those will be able to share with their employees or other people about all the wonderful information that was shared today. So thank you again, and that concludes our program. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.